Now don't run off, this is a Festool product. This is a Festool MFT table. You can get it in 2 different versions from what I can tell. One that includes a track and a protractor, in other words, where you can cut really accurate angles, and one without the track and protractor, but you still get the table with the dog holes, etc. So if you're looking for a kind of an all-in-one solution that possibly, depending on your work, could take the place of a miter saw and a table saw, and I'll explain in a minute, this might be the way to go if you have the budget for it. Now, Festool tools are known to be very expensive, but they're also known to be very nice. I have worked with an MFT table at a friend's house. Loved it. He actually built a cart for it. Thought it was really cool. This has to have legs underneath it that fold out, so you can literally use this as your workbench in small spaces and then store it away flat or against a wall or anything like that when not in use. This version comes with the rail as well as the protractor and a fence with a stop block so you can make repeatable, accurate cuts. One thing to note, it was fairly easy to set up. Out of the box, everything is like already assembled except the guide rail and protractor. You put those on the rails that are already attached to this and then square everything up. There's a video, very good video online. I'll link to in the description on how to set this up. Literally took me a few minutes and had everything square. First cut this piece of plywood like butter, butter smooth. And now you do want to be careful and not cut too deep into this table. It is meant to have basically a saw line underneath it. It's giving you 0 clearance because when you cut on plywood, that's going to give you very clean cuts on either side. No tear out, anything like that. This is made for stuff like that. Very accurate and very clean cuts no matter what you're cutting. And the good thing is here, if you don't have a Festool track saw, but you have a Makita or you have a Milwaukee or you have the Triton or any of those, they will actually ride on this track that comes with this because Festool is using a standardized track. It also includes 20mm dog holes all over the top for clamping and other operations that you can use dog accessories for, which we're going to talk about. As far as ease of use with the track will fold up so that you can load your material on there, and then it folds back down and lands on a catch on the other side. You can literally raise this up and down, really good cut capacity. And then the long straight edge on the back gives you a fence to reference on so that you can put your boards up there. You can cut all the way up to 90 degrees from 0 to 90 on the protractor so you can get most any angle you want for cutting angles. Now, how would it replace a miter saw? It's because of those angles you're able to cut here. So if all you do is cut angles, in other words, you're not beveling on your miter saw, this could take the place of a miter saw if you don't have one yet, or if you're trying to save space and get rid of it. And then also for table saw operations, it won't always take the place of every table saw operation, but if you're just ripping stuff like boards and stuff like that, it can be accomplished with a track depending on how thick that material is. So if you're just ripping down plywood, yeah, this will take the place of it. If you're wanting to rip 2x4s, etc. down, it's really not not what this is meant to do. All right, so I brought these outside just so you can see what it looks like bringing them out, other than the Ryobi that I rolled out here. By far the heaviest is the MFT as far as bulkiness goes and trying to get it outside. The Bora is light as a feather, and then the Works Pegasus are also fairly light, and the Ryobi is fairly light. So if you're moving things in and out, this may be a little less easy to set up, and the legs aren't as easy to set up. But as far as stability goes, it's got a little wiggle to it. It's not as stable as, say, the Bora or even the Works Pegasus. It's about like the Ryobi as far as stable goes. It just kind of shakes and wiggles, which is why a lot of people leave it collapsed and build some type of cart if you're using it inside a shop. So you have to kind of take that into consideration too. As far as accessories go, if you buy this one with the protractor and the fence, then you're getting that with it, which is very handy and extremely useful to have. And then you also have the dog holes that you can pick up aftermarket accessories like we've shown earlier. And Festool has a ton, and aftermarket people do too, ton of add-ons for this MFT table. My friend Jason Bent just did a video on a router table that attaches to this on the rails outside here that's super cool, and then a lot of other accessories available as well. As far as height goes, you can see that the MFT is quite a bit higher, probably 3-4 inches higher than the other ones. I like this work height personally. I'm 5'11" again, so like it's right at my waist, where these are a little lower, like mid-thigh-ish. So this is a more comfortable working height for me personally. So if working height matters to you, this might be the way to go. So let's rate the MFT. As far as ease of use goes, setup's a little more cumbersome. It's not hard, it just takes a little bit longer to get everything set up, especially if you have to put the rail on every time or the guide track on and then square everything up. So setting all that up is not hard. It is just time consuming if you're in a hurry and you just want to set things up very fast. I'm going to give that a 3 on ease of use. Space saving, it's fairly space saving when the legs are collapsed, but it is less space saving than the other one, so I'm gonna give this a 4. It does fold flat so you can stand it against the wall, so it's not taking up a ton of room, but it does take up more room than the Pegasus and the Bora. Stability, I'm gonna give it a 2. I think that there should be some type of bracing that goes in here. If it had like a cross brace or an X brace under there, it would really shore this up quite a bit, because left to right, it doesn't shake a lot. But front and back is quite, it's not like it's gonna fall down, it's just wiggly. As far as accessories go, I'm gonna give this a 4 because I did get the one with the track and the protractor. That is extremely useful and one of those things that you really will take a lot of advantage of. I know my friend uses his a ton. He has a table saw right beside it, but he uses the MFT a lot to make a bunch of cross cuts. It's just a really handy option to have in the shop. If you know someone or a group of someone somewhere online that would enjoy seeing this tool video, be sure to share that with them. But before you go, hit that subscribe button, or you can check out that next video. I think you're gonna like it as well.